Good morning. This is your Friday, January the 14th yoga stretch. I'll try to make it as multi-level as I can. I'm not sure what's going to happen with music, if the music's too loud, if my voice isn't loud enough. It's an experiment. I'm not really great at YouTube. Hopefully you'll join me. You'll need a yoga mat. If you want, you could use a yoga block or a pillow or a rolled up towel or anything like that if you need a little assistance for sure. It may help. Right, let's get started. I like to do this without any shoes on. It's up to you. Hopefully that music isn't too loud. All right, let's start with hands and knees. Fingers are spread wide apart, palms of the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and the legs are parallel. On the inhale, just let your head float up, your tailbone float up. And as you exhale, round the back and stretch up through the spine and the shoulders. Inhaling up, exhaling, rounding your back, stretching like a cat. And we'll do that a few times on the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Now you can stay here, but if you want to do a little bit more intensity, inhale up to cow. And as you exhale, bring your sit bones down to your heels. Forehead to the floor, or a block if that feels more comfortable for you, or a towel. Pillow. Let's reach the hands all the way forward and extend a child's pose. And on the inhale, just slide forward, chest up, head in line with your spine. Drop your belly towards the floor. And exhale, toes together, knees are still apart. And we'll just work on the breath again. This is just a little more intense than cat-cow. And I'm going to give you one more level. Exhaling back. This time as you inhale forward, if you want to come to the full upward facing dog, just press the tops of your feet down to the floor. Lift your body up. Use the arms. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. And drop your knees. And exhale back into child's pose. Let's do that just a few more times. Inhaling to up dog or any variation. Exhaling back into child's pose. One more time. Inhaling forward. And let's exhale and just come back to hands and knees. We'll do a little shoulder stretch. I'm going to release my left hand under my right armpit and drop my whole body weight down towards the floor. I love this stretch for the shoulders, the side of your neck. And just breathe and release your body weight down to the floor. On the inhale, let's come back to hands and knees and do the same thing on the opposite side. Right hand under left armpit, releasing your body weight down to the floor. On your inhale, let's come back to hands and knees. And this time we'll do some pigeon stretches. Let's take your right knee in between your hands, stretch the left leg back, and just let your chest float up as your groins release onto your right heel. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, float your forehead down to the floor, a block, a pillow, a blanket, whatever. You can leave your hands here by your sides, but if you want the variation, with your right knee forward, take your left elbow to the front of the mat, the back of the right hand across your lower spine, and you get a deeper stretch right in the middle of your piriformis or your glute. Take a few breaths in this position. Trying to relax your muscles onto the heel. Then on your next inhale, let's bring your hands back beside your head. Inhale your chest up and slide your right knee back into hands and knees. Same thing on the other side. Let's bring the left knee forward between the hands. Stretch the right leg back. Inhale, lifting up through the spine, stretching your whole body. Keep that length in your body as you slowly bring your forehead to the floor. For the variation with the left knee forward, the right elbow to the front of the mat, the back of your left hand across your lower spine. And just breathe and relax in this passive stretch. Then release your hands back beside your head. On your next inhale, inhale all the way back up and slide your left knee back. And we'll come back into child's pose. Knees apart, toes together, forehead to the floor. Stretch the hands forward, inhaling all the way to upward facing dog. Oh, that feels so good. Drop your knees down. This time we're going to tuck the toes underneath the feet, and as you exhale, lift your sit bones up, keep your legs straight, and come into downward facing dog. Let's walk the dog. Drop one knee, and then the opposite. Pushing the heels down, stretching through the calves, and gentle breathing as you go side to side. Dropping your head down, getting the blood to your head. One more to each side, make it good. Then bring both heels down, lift your sit bones up, and see if you can stretch just a little bit more. Then let's bring our toes together. Let's look between the hands, and this time we'll take the right foot between the hands. Let's work a little bit on the hamstrings and the hip flexors. So to start, my heel is underneath my knee. This is about I don't know what angle that is. We're going to inhale forward, keeping the left knee on the floor. Feel that left hip flexor open. As you exhale, slide your sit bones back, straightening that leg, pulling your toes up as much as you can, stretching the whole back of the leg, keeping your chest up, chin tucked in, and we'll work on the breath. Inhaling forward, lifting up, and exhaling back. Oh, feels really good on those hamstrings. Inhaling forward. If you need a little extra balance, you could use a chair, a coffee table, maybe some furniture to hold on as you come into this position. And exhaling back. You can keep that back left knee down if you'd like, but if you want a little more intensity, tuck your left toes underneath your left foot and stretch that heel back. Puts a little more intensity on that hip flexor. And we're going to hold this position, and I'll give you some variations from here. If you'd like to work on your balancing muscles, release your hands and stretch up into crescent pose. You can do that with the knee down as well for that variation. Whichever variation you're on, make sure you keep on breathing, keep pushing that heel back if your leg is lifted up. Relax the shoulders, rotate the hands, slide them gently with control to the floor, drop your knee, and this time we're going to hold this stretch. If you have to come up a little bit to get the legs straight, that's okay. But if you have that flexibility and you can keep the legs straight, you can bring your body forward or down towards the foot. Make sure your toes are pulled up to engage the back of that leg. Breathe into the back of that leg. You can bring your sit bones towards the back of the mat. And let's do this one more time, coming forward, either leaving that back left knee down or tucking the toes under and coming into full crescent pose. Let's inhale the hands up. And let's work on that hip flexor. Let's float the hands level with the floor, out to the sides, palms facing down, shoulders relaxed. With the right knee forward, I'm going to rotate my left hand forward, my right hand back. Keep pushing that left heel back if your leg is up. You can always keep the knee down onto the mat as well. On the inhale, we'll come back to center. Inhale the hands all the way back up into crescent pose. Rotate the palms, slowly bringing the palms down to the floor. Drop your knee and slide back into that hamstring stretch. I like to lift my chest up, bringing my whole chest forward to the front of the mat, straightening that right leg with the right hip, really pulling back, toes up. Let's bring both hands to the inside of that right foot and swing that right knee around. And guess what? We're going to come back into child's pose, extending the hands forward and inhaling to upward facing dog. Drop the knees, tuck the toes under, and exhale back into downward facing dog. And let's work on those calf muscles. Mine are a bit tight this morning. I just did a cycling workout. My legs are a little bit tight. And then push both heels down, lifting the sit bones up. Let's look between the hands, bring the toes together, and let's do the same thing on the other foot, bringing the left foot forward, Dropping the right knee down just to warm our bodies up. Flatten out that right foot. Inhale the chest forward, starting to open up that right hip. And exhale back. Loosening up those hamstrings. Mine are tight. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Working on the breath. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Inhaling forward. And I'll give you a few variations if you want to make this a little more intense. As you come forward, you can leave your right knee down or tuck your right toes underneath your right foot. Stretch the heel back. Start to feel this a little more intensity in the legs, the hips. And if you want to float the hands all the way up into crescent pose, it's a balance pose. It's so good for you. It's opening that right hip just a little bit. Rotate the palms, float the hands down to the floor, drop your knee, flatten your foot, and exhale back. And we'll stretch and hold that stretch for the hamstrings. Chest forward, breathing into that back of that leg. Make sure you pull the toes up. You can do that manually with your hand or just pull the foot up yourself. And let's come forward again. You can come from this position, leaving the knee down, tuck the toes underneath the foot, push the heel back. And if you want to lift the hands up into crescent pose, and then we'll work on this hip flexor, floating the hands down level with the floor, with the left knee forward, rotate the right hand forward, left hand back. Breathe, turn your head as well. Then inhale the hands to the center, back up to crescent pose, rotate the hands, float them all the way down, drop your knee, flatten the foot, and exhale back, and we'll stretch those hamstrings again. So good to stretch the hamstrings. Let's bring both hands to the inside of that left foot and bring that left foot around, knees apart, toes together, and we'll give another little stretch in child's pose. Stretching the hands forward, inhaling forward, and coming into upward facing dog. Dropping the knees, tucking the toes under, and exhaling back into downward facing dog. And now we're going to do the first vinyasa. My arms are shaky. I'll give you some variations. Inhaling to plank. Plank is so good for core strength. Make sure your neck is nice and long. Fingers are spread apart. The weight is a little bit to the roots of the index fingers and thumbs. Rotate your elbows so they're facing the back of the mat. Drop your knees if you like, and then slowly lower your body down. And if you can, hover over the mat in chaturanga. Then down to the floor, flattening out the feet, and inhale to upward facing dog. Exhaling all the way back down to the floor, and we'll do a little neck, and we'll do some back strengthening from here. We're flat on the floor, forehead to the floor. Let's rotate the hands down by your sides, palms up, and turn your head to the right. Relax the shoulders down. One of the best neck stretches that I know. Just breathe and relax in that stretch. Then on your next inhale, bring your forehead to the floor. Bend your hands so that the hands are underneath or beside your head again. And we're going to work on those little back muscles and strengthen your back. Find your pubic bone. Push your pubic bone down. Lift your belly up away from the floor. Squeeze your butt cheeks together. And push your hands into the floor. Lift your feet, lift your head. And try to push your body forward. We're engaging your core and strengthening the little muscles in your back. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, turn your head to the left, hands back down by your sides, palms up. And just relax in this position. Bringing your forehead back to the floor. We're going to leave our hands down by our sides. We're going to do the same thing with the core. Push your pubic bone down, lift your belly, lift your head, lift your hands, lift your feet. Pull your fingers back towards your feet. And take tiny little breaths. And we're strengthening your back. Take a deep breath in And this time as you exhale, turn your head to the right, relax those shoulders. If you don't find this relaxing, just keep working on it. It took me months and months after my broken shoulder to really be able to relax and get this stretch to be comfortable. Then turn your head back to the floor. Extend your hands overhead. Same thing with the core. Push the pubic bone down, lift the belly, tighten everything up. And this time we're going to lift the head, the feet, and the hands in our Superman position. Keep those core muscles tight. Oh, this is so good for your back. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Hands back down by your sides, palms up, turning your head to the left. And bring your forehead back to the center. Reach the hands overhead, and we're going to do something that took me a long time again to be able to do with any accuracy. Push the pubic bone down, lift the belly up, that engages the core. Lift your head, your left leg, and your right hand. Little breaths. Take a deep breath in, and exhale the forehead to the floor, relax. And we'll do the other side. Push the pubic bone down, lift the belly, lift the head, the right foot and the left hand. This one's a harder one for me. Then exhale your forehead to the floor. Bring your hands back underneath of your shoulders. You can do this from the knees, or if you want to push up from the toes, it's up to you. Try to engage the core first. Push the pubic bone down, lift the belly, and on your inhale, plank. If you need to straighten out the legs, do that now into a full plank, and on your exhale, come into downward facing dog. Oh, downward facing dog is so good. Let's bring the toes together in downward facing dog, and let's drop the left knee. We're going to do some side planks. I'll start from this position first. So we're going to take the right foot and put it flat. Release the right hand all the way up into the sky. So you can stay here. This is a side plank, a modified side plank. If you want to come into the full side plank, release that left foot and stretch it back. Oh, good. Turn your head to look up. Keep your body and your back straight. Then rotate your right hand down to the floor, your left knee to the floor, your right knee to the floor, and exhale back into child's pose. Reach the hands forward and inhale to upward facing dog. A lot of back stretching going on here. Drop the knees, tuck the toes under, exhale back into downward facing dog. Drop your right knee this time. Rotate your body to the right, your left leg in line with the foot if you can. And we'll do the modified one first, lifting that left hand up into the air. And if you want a full, both legs straight, just slide your right leg down beside your left. Core strength. Then rotate the left hand to the floor, the right knee to the floor, and come back into child's pose. Inhaling forward into upward facing dog. Drop the knees, curl the toes under, and exhale back into downward facing dog. Drop your knees, toes together, forehead to the floor. And you can rest here in child's pose for as long as you need to. I'm going to stop this one now. I might do a second yoga class. Let's see if you guys like it. Please let me know. I really like any comments that you have if you are following me. I appreciate it and appreciate all the comments. Thanks, and bye for now.